So let's start ladies first. Let's start with Jessica.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Sinclair, and I am an RN. I work in cardiology as a special procedure nurse. I am also an entrepreneur, an author, and an event host. Amongst other things, my main goal is to uplift and empower our communities, Black and Brown individuals, so they have a great quality of health. The only way they can establish that is if we have dialogue that we're having tonight. So congratulations on this endeavor to you guys, both Frank and Franklin. And I'm interested in hearing how we can all commit to educating our communities.
Thank you, Jessica. And then we move on to Rebecca.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Lamore. I am an RN as well. I work in the OR, the peri-op environment. I hope to be able to shed some light and clear out some misconception about the virus today, and inform the public with knowledge that they can use against this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colleen.
Hi, my name is Carlene Bobrin, and I am an event designer.
We lost her.
Oh, what happened? Did I lose you guys?
I guess
Yeah, for a short minute.
We lost you for a second, so you have to start over.
Okay. Hold on.
You guys, you don't brag. I don't see the excitement. I know it's difficult time, but
we're missing some vitamin C.
I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. I can't see you guys or hear you guys. Oh, there you go. All right. So I'm an event designer. Well, my name is Carlene Bobrin. I'm an event designer. I own an event production company. I'm also the founder and executive producer and host of a digital media company called Event Process Talk. I'm also the founder of a nonprofit 501(c) organization called Pajamas and a Purpose. And my level of focus is empowering my community as an African-American woman entrepreneur that has many endeavors, and I empower young girls and women in our community to do the same, find their voice and become community leaders.
All right, thank you, Colin. And Ven, you wanna?
Yes, hi. My name is Vincent. I am a business owner, entrepreneur, empowerment leader, vegan at heart. So nutrition, eating habits is definitely my thing, and I'm hoping we'll be able to speak about it because it's very important, especially with the virus that's going on right now. And of course, we'll talk about the impact on the business world, and that's what I'm here for today.
All right, thank you, Ven. Mr. Bonhomme.
Yes, my name is Frank Bonhomme. So I'm the co-founder of Black Wallet, and also Black Wallet is a part of Black Table. But for my profession, I'm a financial advisor, tax consultant, insurance broker, and I'll be talking about the stimulus package that the government is rolling out.
All right, last but not least, Franklin Morose. That's Franklin with a C. I am part of Black Wallet and also Black Table. Black Table is a production of Black Wallet. And tonight we have some great community leaders, people that want to inspire others. We know we've been going through this pandemic for over 3 months now. So we want to do our part, bring information to the household, tell them about the virus, how they can protect themselves. Also, it affects our communities, the Black people, and also our businesses. So we have a great panel. It's a lot of information that we will share with you tonight, and I hope you're gonna make good use of it. First and foremost, we want to talk about coronavirus. I don't know if anyone want to take this one over. We know it started in December in Wuhan, China. So we never thought it was gonna come here. Me personally, I was doing business for somebody in China, and I stopped all businesses. So I was making fun of it, and I don't know. It turns out to be here in New York, and it's one of the worst states. So I didn't take it seriously, and now I have friends, close people that I work with that passed away due to the virus. So I know the consequences. We have our family member from Black Wallet. She lost her mother to the virus yesterday. So special shout out to Wozme from Sidenken. So she lost her mother yesterday. So may she rest in peace. Frank, I don't know if you want to say anything about the virus.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, in the beginning when this thing started, the same way too. We wasn't sure what it is, and then I guess also many of us was even different thing. You know, at one part I heard, oh, it wasn't affecting Black people. It was affecting only the elderly, and so on. There was so many misinformation. I guess we got lost in it, and also, especially the leader, we find out the leader, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And I think this is where we are now. And one of the things that really, me and Franklin, we was thinking about doing the show anyway from previously, but Sean, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever they call him, he did a special the other day, which was very interesting. And then that got me to even want to educate our community even more, because it's affecting a lot of Black people.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that we didn't believe in the virus up to February, mid-February. Nobody really believed that the virus is there, and then some people were making joke like it's not really there. You never see anybody that is sick, and I think we started really to feel it in the beginning of March. And the worst thing is like we don't really know the symptoms. Every week you hear something different. So we used to hear it's you have a fever, you have some cough, but we find out later that some people carry the virus, but they don't show any symptoms. So that's what makes it very violent. We don't know if it is airborne, if you walk out on the street, if you're gonna catch it. And sometimes you hear people saying like, if you wear a mask, it's only not to share the virus. So the mask is not going to protect you. It's so much misinformation, so much disbelief. As far as Black people cannot get it, young kids cannot get it. It's so much information out there, so you don't know what to believe really. Not only you don't see it per se, because most people don't go to the hospital. Some people like usually now with social media, everybody show everything online. So we didn't see anything until March, really. So everything was kept secret, and then everybody was speculating. And then the virus worked its way through our doors, and now we lost a lot of people to it. And from what we know, who would we say that is most at risk? Because they used to say it's old people or kids cannot even contract it. So from what you guys know, I'm talking about the nurses, who would you say that are most at risk?
Father Barbara's praying for her friend Mitch, who's struggling with COVID, and his wife
Okay, I
Jamie.
think somebody just joined us.
Them
I guess
tonight,
they had to turn off their
drawing them to
mic.
himself, and we pray for healing there, for
excellent.
Amanda, for healing, for and strength for Joe.
Okay, all right, good. Sorry.
That
Good. I
it's
guess you want to start with Rebecca?
Yes, who would you say, guys, that are most at risk? We know it's people with underlying conditions, but that could be a kid, that could be an adult. So who would we say is much more at risk to catch the coronavirus?
Well, according to the WHO organizations, they said like 80% is older adults with existing pre-existing medical conditions, like hypertension, if you have any heart disease, if you have any previous lung disease like asthma, bronchitis, anything that can keep your lungs from really like fighting this, because they say that this virus attacks your lungs and cause breathing difficulties. And from there, that's how people deteriorate and ends up having to need assistance from ventilators. So according to them, those are the people that are most at risk. But I know recently they have added newborns to that list, young infants and newborns as well.
That's crazy. And they talk about washing your hands. They talk about wearing masks. They talk about social distancing. How do you guys protect yourself? Do you stay home? Don't you go out to buy anything? What do you do to protect yourself from catching the virus?
I think the most important thing is understanding that this is a droplet, okay? So the misconception is that it's airborne. So if something is airborne, that means it's lingering in the air. And so the perception is, well, if I sneeze, then it disperses in a short amount of time. That is not correct. It lingers in the air for a matter of minutes. What makes this a droplet situation is because you need to be close enough to the person to be sneezed on. So that's why they said, okay, now wear a face mask if you're 6 feet from another person, which to me, they said that a little bit too late in the game because you had persons that didn't have the mask. So again, this is a transmission from touching your eyes, touching your skin, and of course, sneezing or coughing on a person. The thing about the glove, and which I don't like, and what I'm seeing is that you have the glove on all day and you're touching your bag. I'm a commuter, so I'm still on the train. Now you're touching your phone. When you are having a glove as a nurse, you don the glove on, you take the glove off, you do hand hygiene. So again, is the glove really is it more of a comfort measure, or is it actually stopping the transmission of this virus? I beg to differ. I think persons need to not wear gloves. This is my take on it. People need to wash their hands 20 seconds. That is the most important thing. Stop wearing these gloves all over the place. What you're supposed to do is put the glove on, take it off, put on a new glove. Okay, so again, now that's supply and demand. Again, people are wearing these gloves way too long for my comfort, guys. That's number one. Number two, you're not washing your hand every time you're taking it off. So you're using the alcohol-based liquids, okay? That has a short shelf life. If you are putting hand sanitizer on repeatedly, you are killing the good bacteria. You need to go back to basics, which is proper washing your hands. You need to sing the ABC, the happy birthday song twice. You need to say your ABCs twice. I would love to do a video on proper washing of the hand because people are not even washing the top of their hands or in between. This is where bacteria lives, in between your hands. And so, again, wearing the glove is all great if you're 6 feet, but to me, it's more of the touching. I feel that's what's really spreading this on such a fast pace. You're wearing the glove, don't get me wrong, fine, but you're touching everything again anyway. I saw a woman eating French fries with a glove on the train. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So is the glove really effective? Now you're driving your car and you're touching your steering wheel. Are you wiping down the surfaces? I mean, this virus lives on a surface, depending on what surface. Some of them are, I think if it's steel, don't quote me, do your research, go on the CDC. I believe it's lasting about 6 minutes. Okay, and when you're cleaning the surface, are you going up and down? People are not even telling people how to clean a surface. When you're going up and down, guys, you're just moving that virus up and down. The proper way to clean a surface is in a circular motion. You go from inner to outer. That's how you kill a bacteria. We are not being taught the proper way on these platforms. Now you have CNN, you have the ABCs of the world. I think they need to have more healthcare professionals on these platforms, because I'm telling you right now, people are not cleaning the surfaces the right and proper way. Okay, so going back to basics, you have to take the glove on right after you touch something. You can't touch everything. You're not doing anything. At the end of the day, you're making the situation worse. I get the glove, I get the mask. Is it an N95 or is it something that is a washcloth? Particles are still going to come into those masks if they're not the N95. Okay, 65% of particles are going to come in your household mask. Is better than nothing. I get it, but I think these things are just making people more comfortable. It is not stopping the virus. That's my take. That's my take on it.
Okay. A couple of things that you mentioned I want to touch on. You mentioned bringing your hand to your face or your mouth, meaning that you can touch the virus. It could be in your hand, and if you don't bring it to your face, you won't catch it. So
So you have the virus on your hands. Now you're touching your mouth. This is a vessel here. Then you're touching your eye. So that also is seeping into the membrane. So that's why I'm saying that even if you have the glove on, I still see people touching their face. You know what I mean? And so it's still transmissible is what I'm saying. So for me, I think that if you don't have the glove in your mind, you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't wash my hand. Let me go do it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Rebecca's shaking her head as a nurse.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback, what I've been seeing is people wearing these gloves, taking them off, throwing them on the floor.
Oh my God.
And I totally agree, because even at the grocery store, they wear the gloves all over. They touch everything, then touch their groceries, and these gloves are catching everywhere you touch. That's bacteria, that's viruses on these gloves, and it's being transferred from one item to another. So I think it's more effective to just wash your hands and to add on to the hand sanitizers. A lot of people don't know that it's only 2 use. The CDC recommends hand sanitizers to be used twice, and then you must wash your hands.
Correct. We are overly abusing these hand sanitizers. Again, a comfort measure to make you feel okay is different than causing a spread of this virus. You doing it because you want to mentally feel great. That's okay. But you're not doing it. You're harming yourself. Is basically what we're trying to tell you.
I have a comment on the hand sanitizer I want to touch on in a second. But as far as the duration the virus can live up to, so I've made a little bit of research. It says like on plastic, they can live up to 2 to 3 days on plastic. On cardboard, it's 24 hours. Copper, it's 4 hours. Aluminum, 2 to 8 hours. On glass, up to 5 days. Ceramics, it's 5 days. On paper, it can last up to 5 days. So if you have it on the gloves, you touch a paper, it's gonna stay there for 5 days. For all of us with our offices home right now, paper is like very dangerous. So that on average, the virus stay alive from 3 to 5 days. So wash your hands properly, as Jessica mentioned it. Food, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. It doesn't seem like it can survive from food, but it's better to protect yourself than dying from the virus. I've seen a comment. Yes.
From what's being said, the heat kills the virus. So if it's hot food or anything that's hot, it's most likely not to be on those kind of surfaces. But anything else, yes.
You know, you get produce from the store. I would wash it. I wash all my produce with soap and water. anything that is a bear, even the mail. I mean, I'm spraying everything down. You cannot be too cautious. I repeat, you cannot be too cautious because this is something that we're touching, this whole stay-at-home thing, that's a whole different conversation. But at the end of the day, proper hygiene 101 is washing your hand with soap and water. That is the first thing you learn in nursing school. And I think that we're not stressing that enough in the media. We're not. And so people are still being admitted every single day, because the right messages is really and truly not being said.
Okay. Welcome, Edson Basil. I can see you from here.
I've been here. I was just praying with the kids, so I've been in silence.
Okay. So to recap, the virus can live up from 2 to 5 days. It is transmitted by droplet, and if you touch it, you bring it to your face, your eyes, your mouth, you will catch it. The best thing to do against the virus is to wash your hands. 20 seconds. Happy birthday song twice, Jessica. So wash your hand properly, not only the palm of your hand, but inside out, your nails, everything. So wash your hand properly, and then you're gonna get rid of the virus. So the thing is, like, wash your hand. You can wear a mask. They talk about social distancing and all of this good stuff. And I saw a comment on Facebook. Somebody say, how if you wash your hand with hand sanitizer, you kill the virus, and then they cannot find a cure for it. So anybody want to comment on that? I think it makes sense, but
Well,
they say hand sanitizer kills the virus. So I don't want people to stop drinking it.
I'm going to drink.
Hand sanitizers are not meant to replace hand washing. Hand sanitizers I think they were created as an alternative for when hand washing is not available. But as soon as you find soap and water, that's always the number one choice.
No. The question was, how come hand sanitizer could kill the virus?
So the answer is
they haven't found a cure
the answer is it doesn't kill it. It's washing your hands. It's the equivalent.
That's a good
washing
question.
your hands.
Yeah.
I got it.
But I would like I don't know one thing Jessica mentions about the staying at home. So I wanted to let Colin say a few things to saying how she's dealing with staying at home, and as far as if you have kids, so how do you deal with that? So if you could say a few words about that, Colin.
Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, it has been a huge adjustment, especially being part of the events industry, where our whole industry has been shut down. All of our, the social distancing has been. I mean, it definitely took. This is the first time, I think, in ever in history, that our industry took such a direct hit when it comes to socializing, because that's all our industry is people getting together and having events, and just being engaged with physical human interaction. And so it's definitely been challenging, staying at home. Ooh. That's not my thing. I'm always on the road, so to me, like, I know I'm gonna need some sort of, like, I don't know, I need to talk to somebody because this has been
Most people do
crazy.
need that.
Yeah, because I'm so used to being on the road all the time, and literally, like, on the road 24 hours sometimes. And it's just that, when you're stuck now at home trying to kind of like balance it all out. My kids, thank goodness, are older. So they're like into their phones, they're into, they're talking with their friends and playing games, virtually or whatever. So, I thank goodness that hasn't been like a to-do for me. I feel bad for those who have small children and who are stuck at home. For these amount of, hours, it could be very challenging. But I think my biggest challenge as an event industry professional in my, as an entrepreneur, was balancing out when our event world shut down. How was I going to, while everyone else is panicking, I had to have a straight head on. Millions of phone calls came in. Carlene, what am I going to do? Do I have to cancel my event? I want my money back. I want this, I want that. And it's just like, oh my God, like, give me, like, you know. So after taking a minute for myself as a, you know, as a business owner, and sitting, reflecting, and then, you know, talking with my team and trying to figure out, how do we do that? How do we be proactive in a time of chaos? And how do we be professional in a time of chaos? And how do we offer our services and be the best reliable source that we can be, because our clients at the end of the day and our strategic partners are counting on us. So making, you know, real concrete decisions, effective decisions, and strategizing as far as how we're going to be, you know, a valuable resource during this time was it was a big deal. And it was a different, we had to take various different approaches. Again, a lot of people wanted to cancel. I'm going way off the question you asked me, but I'm hoping that, you know, this definitely helps as far as entrepreneurs and what you're, you know, how to help your clients during very difficult times right now. So staying at home for me was really, I really had no time to breathe. I had to jump into action. And so while clients were calling, you know, to find out what do they do? Do they cancel? Do they postpone? They want their money back. We had to get creative, and just like we're doing right now, that was the first source that I provided to my clients. Now, convincing a corporate client to do something like this is easy because they're used to doing this all the time. But convincing someone that you can still have a baby shower like this and make it fun and engaging, and it took more convincing. So that's how I spent the earlier parts of my days, or you know, of my weeks rather, when this COVID-19 took over life. And so it was very challenging, but at the same time, I'm very proud of my team. And again, it has to do with having an effective team and being ready at all times to jump in as an entrepreneur in the face of chaos.
Yeah. So thank you, Colin, for that information. I just wanted to follow up, Franklin, if you could allow me, with Itson. Itson is a mental health worker, right? Itson. So, as you, Colin mentioned, is very, sometimes it could become chaotic, you know, financially, you know, dealing with the kids, dealing with, you know, you didn't mention that, but dealing with your partner in the house. As a mental health worker, what advice would you give someone to stay, you know, to stay sane and not go crazy?
Well, I must first put a disclaimer. I don't have my license yet. I have been a social the past 12, 13, 15 years. I've been avoiding the licensing exam, but I've worked as a therapist under the supervision of a lot of psychologists, uh, licensed social worker, clinical social workers. What I've noticed is that we are all worried about how we might not get contaminated. We're worrying about the physical uh, um, safety of our bodies, but we're not thinking about our mental state, our mental health. Right now, my wife and I, we have a business, a preschool, and you know that preschool daycare centers are mostly open. We are considered as an essential business. However, nobody's sending their kids because people are afraid. So the fear is there. So people are dealing with the fear of not being able to send their kids not only to preschool, but
Edson, you wanna mute?
Yes,
Edson, you have
just
to unmute. Okay.
the idea, the fear of should be kill them. So what I would suggest, that we make use of social support that we have, which is this meeting right here. I think is the beginning of many meetings that should be happening around the country. A lot of churches are doing small groups, and if you're a church member, a church goer, I would suggest that you join any group that is potentially able to help you spiritually and mentally. and such group like this. And there is what we call the telehealth. This is what we're doing now when in a program that I'm working at, Mercy First. The young adults that we are counseling, they cannot go home. One of them essentially told me that, Mr. Edson, my mental health is going crazy because I cannot go home because of this virus. Then I don't know what to do. Meanwhile, these are the kids that have counseling. They have occupational therapists counseling them. They have mental health counselors counseling them. And they have case workers working with them, manage their goals, manage their objectives. But they're still struggling. Can you imagine kids who are already getting counseling? They're still struggling with the idea of not being able to go home. Can you imagine us not even taking advantage of the telehealth, that is available where we can get counseling? So I say, get the support out there. It's there. That's what I say.
Thank you.
De-
Go ahead,
defi-
Franklin.
Definitely. Black Wallet, we have kind of two activities for our members. We have a health group. We work out together. Sometimes we talk about health. And we
Can you hear me?
preparing
I'll
a
turn it
show
over to
on
you. First.
we are preparing a show on activities to do at home while you stay at home, so to keep your mind out of it. I have a friend of mine, she organized a tea party. Group of people meet up on Zoom, they're drinking tea, they're talking. And I have a group I work with. We have mimosas meeting, so we're drinking, dancing, and talking. So you have to try everything to keep your mind out of it. uh, the big misconception about the virus is like, I think people believe if they catch it, they are going to die. That's where the fear comes from. And they don't talk about how many people survive the coronavirus. So, which leads me to the immune system. They say if you have a strong immune system, so you will catch it and beat it. I know I have a couple of nurses here. If they want to touch a little bit about the immune system, what they can do as far as vitamins or physical activities to do to strengthen your immune system.
I thought Vin said he was going to talk about the type of food. I think, Vin, you mentioned something,
Yes,
Go ahead.
correct. I did mention that, but I'm gonna let the nurses lead,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and I will come in with my personal experience on that.
Okay. Go ahead, Jessica. That leave you because Rebecca left the screen.
So, I mean, I come from a West Indian family, and we're all about the home remedies. And I think that,
Very
as
good.
a culture, we rule out home medicine because pharmaceuticals is king. And so I'm one of these nurses that's super transparent. When it comes to wellness, mental health, meditation, if you don't have a positive mindset, then it's going to trickle down, because remember, this is a whole mechanism. This is
Amen.
so if you don't have a strong head, this is why your head is round, right? This is why your head leads, because it needs to be well. So I know the gentleman spoke about mental health, but I think a lot of people need to be still, silent. We need to meditate. That's one thing that I start my day off, is just being here, feeling fulfilled. If it's an app on your phone, there's meditation apps that if you don't have a resource out there innately, you can just be still. I challenge everyone that's tuning in to drink hot liquids. As Rebecca said, this is a disease, or rather a respiratory viral disease, which means that, you have your lung, and if fluid is not moving lucid, then it gets stiff. Then your chest hurts, right? So every morning I slice lemon and I put it in hot water. That's how you should be cleansing your body anyway every day, to get all that soot out, all that oil that builds up when you're sleeping. I also engage you to boil ginger and garlic. Yes, at the end of the day, guys, things that are good for you is not going to taste good. All right, I need people to be adults. I need people to man up, to understand that you need these nutritional values, because our foods that we eat. I know there's a gentleman Van that's vegan, but a lot of you guys are eating processed foods, and we'll talk about that later about food deserts. But I need you guys to drink the orange peel. So every day my dad peels a fresh orange. The orange peel has so much vitamin C in it where you can put that again in a hot cup of water. So I mentioned lemon, I mentioned orange peel. Of course, eating orange is great. The garlic, the ginger. These are things that you can put in one good pot. Put it in a jar if you have to, if you're on the go. Also, stay away from, of course, the processed foods. You have greens, you have the spinach, right? You have kale. I would say everybody right now should be on a plant-based diet. It's not going to kill you. We have a few more weeks to stay inside. Challenge yourself to go to those places like the Trader Joe's. It's affordable. Okay, I know you'll talk about the stimulus package, but you need to know how to make a dollar stretch. I think as Caribbean people, we really know how to do that. Fresh food. I mentioned protein. Eat a nice snapper. Eat a nice piece of salmon that's wild. Stay away from the farm-grown foods, right? You want to make sure you're having a high-protein, low-carb diet. High protein, low carb. You need the carbs for the powerhouse to get you going, but you need the protein to sustain the nutrients. Rebecca, do you have anything you want to add on that?
I think you mentioned most of the antiviral. Food is medicine to your body, so if you choose certain things, it will help your immunity and will help your body stay healthy. So I will add that elderberry is something that's hot right now. It's not a new thing, but a lot of people are finding out about it. It's really good for the immunity. It's an antiviral. So I would say oregano, thyme. You can even make your own tea. You don't have to use the tea bags. You can boil some oregano, put some thyme in there, maybe put some orange peel and make a tea.
Yeah.
And add some honey in it. I think those things will help your body as well as sleep. I know it's hard right now. People are anxious. I know even myself, like I still work because I still work at the hospital. But sometimes I do feel anxious, and so I try to I use the app on my phone to play some soothing music before bed. Things to kind of get my mind off the coronavirus, and I try not to be glued to the TV. And I take pause from the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So I give myself some time to just de-stress before bed.
Okay.
And then
We lost you, Rebecca.
So another thing is exercise. I know a lot of times, we don't want to do it. We're too tired. So on Instagram right now, there's so many people, Facebook as well, and live and Instagram, all those gyms that can't have clients come in anymore, all these personal trainers, and they're all giving those things out for free. This gym that I used to attend, they usually have challenges that cost $500, and they're giving them out for free. So I would say to people to try to log in and follow them and try to do something, even if it's 20 minutes a day. I think right now a lot of people they tend to go towards the wine or the alcohol, but I think the exercise is really a smart choice, especially that it's a disease that attacks your lungs. I think that exercising might be a step towards maybe strengthening your lungs, just in case you were to get sick. That way it'll be healthy enough to fight. So
very important. Even if you're walking around your house, opening the lungs on a brisk day every morning, I find that there's still a few parks in my area open, but there's days I'm just going around my block just to open up my lungs, that's very important to shock that system to get everything open for sure.
Okay, so I want Ven to follow,
Yes,
to add a few things to it, and then the rest of you, can you just mute the mic because we're getting a lot of feedback. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Jessica, beautifully said. Rebecca, you added. Um, Actually, you ladies giving me a chance to speak about other stuff because you already said most of the stuff that are important. I really smiled when you said everybody should be on a plant-based diet. That's beautiful. I think, and this is where I
No
come into
grill.
it. Absolutely not, Frank. Nothing greasy. You should stay away from that. But I'm not here to pick on nobody or no one's personal lifestyle. The only thing I could say here is from my personal experience, I think a plant-based diet is absolutely life. The reason why I'm saying that is because there is clearly, I think Rebecca just said it, your food should be your medicine. And if you want life, you ingest life, not death. And that's the premise where cooked food is decaying or reduced life out of nutrient. And my angle is yes, vegans and vegetarians and people that try to be on a plant-based diet, they end up indulging in processed food. And I say it's as bad as if you were eating meat in actuality,
Mm-hmm.
because the processed food is also creating a lot of blockage in your system, mucus and all that. A lot of people don't get it, but it's not just becoming a plant-based um, eater. You also have to think about life. You want to ingest life. So raw food, raw plant-based diet is really the key. You tend to hear about vegan, yes, but what kind of vegan are you? Are you eating a bunch of greasy stuff? You still could be fat and be vegan. It doesn't make any change in what is it that you're putting into your body. So, for example, my personal experience is where I became raw vegan maybe 5 years ago. But when I first went into the raw veganism, it's a thing, by the way. I could say that I felt really good about myself, and my energy level went through the roof. That's the first thing. The second thing, I used to get a cold at least twice a year between seasons. The minute I did that, I did not even remember when was the last time I had a cold, because it's just you build up your immune system so much because you're not stuffed with stuff, and you ingesting life. It literally becomes a shield for you. So we're talking about the coronavirus. What can we do to protect ourselves? Well, that's one thing you could do. For example, the minute that we went into this stay at home situation, which I don't know if you guys did that, but nobody really stay at home. Maybe for 3 days, but after that, you got to go to the supermarket. You got to go out. Um, but you try to protect yourself. Two things that are really you have to also take in consideration. It's not just the food intake. It's also for your belly. It's also the food you put in your mind, in your head, the way you think about things. If you are always stressed or worried about catching it, your mind also is consuming negative vibration, and you then are not you polarize onto something, so you attract that thing. So there's all that we have to take in consideration. So the first thing I did, meditation, long meditation. We're talking about 30 to 45 minutes, and also a fast. If anybody's listening right now, a fast before you, if you know there is something that will happen into your life or you might be encountering, first thing you do, you fast. And we're not talking about 2 3 days, we're talking about a week, or in my case, 10 days of fasting. And gradually, when you come back of it, you only ingesting life into your body. It will absolutely reset your system, boost up your immune system, and create that shield against any bacteria that would come to you. I know it works. I can definitely vouch for it because I've done before, and doing it again, it created that confidence in me that yes, the virus is out there. Don't get me wrong. It will. All of you will come into contact with it. It depends on your immune system. You will either block it and pass it through, or you're gonna process it and develop other stuff. So I think that's my take on it as far as the diet is concerned. I'm gonna throw one word out there, and I think both of you ladies spoke about it. Or maybe it's Jessica. You said warm water with lemon. This medicine, it is a medicine. It's a key to turn your body, especially in the morning. Empty stomach. It changes your body into alkaline. If anybody understand what it is exactly. So you alkalinize your body and you set your immune system to such a high level of a boost. Anything that comes in, you're just going to pass them through. They're not going to get and stay into your system. So absolutely, I'm glad that we have this platform where we could inform people. And having that experience, I could definitely recommend it.
Yeah, so lime with hot water every morning. So
Absolutely.
That's it.
Actually, it's interesting you're saying lime. There is a big difference between lime and lemon.
All right.
So which one we supposed to get?
Lime. Yo, you do with the lemon. All right. Well, I do with the lime.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Is this
Then
because one of them is stronger than the other? I've always wondered that because growing up in Haiti, I'm used to limes. So when I came here, I see lemons, and I'm like, which one is? We call lime lemon. And Haiti, we call limes lemons. So is it because one is stronger than the other, or is there like a difference really?
Well,
Jessica, you want to take that, but I definitely different properties.
Okay.
The lemon has a higher, more benefit properties than the lime, from my understanding.
So the lemon have more like health
properties.
benefits than, okay.
Correct. Benefit is the word, yes.
Also, I wanted to chime in on the fast. I mean, yeah, you can do the 10-day fast, but what I've been doing is intermittent fasting.
Correct. That's beautiful.
So that's what I do, and I think it's a little bit of easier approach. From 12 to 6 o'clock, I'm eating, and after 6 o'clock, I shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely have seen an increase in concentration in my business, making different moves. So I definitely recommend that for everyone to try the intermittent after 6 o'clock, no food.
That's probably a lot easier, Jessica.
What?
I feel like right now a lot of people are also using food as a coping mechanism. So what I've been thinking about recently is it may not work for everybody, but maybe fasting is one way, and also cleanse, maybe doing a cleanse.
Yes.
I know cleansing, a lot of times people do it for weight loss, but I think the main benefit of cleansing, to any kind of cleanse, from 3 days to 5 days, it really cleans your palate. It cleans your taste buds in your mouth, and if you used to have cravings, that may be a good way to reset your taste buds, reset your tongue. That way you may hopefully start choosing better alternatives. Instead of grabbing that cookie, you may grab an apple,
I'm glad you mentioned that, Rebecca, because actually on the onset of a good long fasting, a cleansing is 2-3 days of cleansing is part of it as well. And when you come out of it, you do another cleansing. I mean, we could go into more details. There's a colonic as well that you could do, but right now nobody can go nowhere to get it done. But those are part of a really sustainable, I would say, fasting. It does help your system, correct?
So I know you guys talk about a lot as far as the dieting. and it's mentioned about the mind. So, and while you stay in a home, what, I would like you guys to at least recommend a book somebody could read. I mean, for me, I look at, people either could take a course, online course, to make themselves better, get a degree, get something. So, I don't know if Colleen or any one of you could recommend a good book for people to read while they're at home, because there are going to be a lot of people watching this video. At least we to help them keep their mind at peace.
Becoming by Michelle Obama is one of the books I started but never had time to finish. I wish
Colleen,
I could stay home more.
Mhm.
I would definitely finish that book, because I know I read a couple of chapters and never had the chance to finish it.
There's a book I just purchased. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because
Okay,
I think it's a great book.
Okay, Jessica, any book?
Jessica
you
just
recommend?
put out a book.
your
That's the
book.
book to read right now. Jessica, you want to talk about it?
Yes, definitely.
That's a must read. It's
Oh
available.
yes,
okay.
Jessica Guy has a book.
Definitely check out my book. It's called Network Like You Mean It, A Nurse's Journey from Entrepreneurship to Finding Purpose.
Show it.
Yeah,
Can you show it?
It's not
If you let her talk, Rick.
Right.
I gave away my last copy. So I'm ordering more. So it's
Okay.
on Amazon. Check it out. Network Like You Mean It. I'll type it in. And it's about my journey from being a bedside nurse to starting this platform, teaching you guys how to network effectively. When you guys practice social distancing, I want you guys to get checks. I want you guys to soar. Get my book. Also, this book has definitely changed my life. It really isn't about you. It's about them. And this is the 4 agreements. This is a life-changing book. Things that you question. Don't take things personally. Be impeccable with your word. If you say you're going to do a show at 8 o'clock, right, Frank? I'm like, Frank, I don't know. But I put that out in the universe. You have to be so strategic with the words that you're putting out there. Life-changing book.
Beautiful.
And so I'm a self-published author. Support me. And I hope it's beneficial to you guys. Yeah.
Colleen, did you find the book, Colleen?
Yeah, I did. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Oh, yes.
That's a really, really good book as well, just for your mental health, and just like being able to show you the different ways of how powerful your mind can be and how you can manifest things with just the use of your mind and believing in yourself and using that it's a really, really good book. The power of your subconscious mind.
Nice.
That's beautiful, Colleen. I can say this. Joseph Murphy I would recommend every one of his books and anything that he wrote.
He's amazing.
Because he's teaching metaphysics, and it's the science of mind and positivity. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you. Thank you for endorsing me.
Absolutely.
I would recommend, it's a book that I've read a long time ago. It's entitled The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz.
Okay, yes. Those are classics.
I tell you, I do not remember author's name that often. And I've read this book over 20 years ago, and it has still made an impact on me. And secondly, I would recommend, this is something that I recommend to my kids. There are 30 days in the month. I recommend to my kids, I tell them, read the book of Proverbs, a chapter a day, corresponding with the date, with the month, today's date. For instance, today's the 17th. I've read Proverbs chapter 17. Tomorrow's the 18th. I'm going to be reading Proverbs 18. This is very vital. We take care of the mind, we take care of the body, we got to take care of the spirit and the soul.
Amen.
Actually, type in, there's a chat, there's a little box. Could you guys type in the books you recommended?
Yes. And
Put them on the screen. Don't worry about that.
And Franklin, any book you recommend?
I recommend people to read the Bible and Network Like You Mean It.
Love it.
to me, you guys are less bond. It's possible. It's very inspiring, and then I think you need that during this time, and also the Bible also.
You can do nothing by yourself. So networking is what you need, and nurses journey to entrepreneurship. So you need motivation. You need a role model. This is the book to read. So
30
I recommend
amazing
you all to
nurses,
read it.
30 amazing nurses in the front line. We came together.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, Rebecca, you can still grab it. It teaches you how to be a leader as well. You're more than you're more than where you are. So check it out. It's for everyone.
Definitely. Talking about nurses, I want to do something special right now. We always talk about firefighters, Superman, superheroes like Franklin Morose. So, so coronavirus has shed the light on supermarket workers, warehouse workers. Those people, we would have never thought of them if it weren't for this pandemic. So we're not gonna talk about them, but I want each and every one of you to send a special shout out to a nurse that you know, a supermarket worker that you know, somebody that you know that is on the front line helping us going through this pandemic. So I don't want to start with Frank.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to Jessica, Rebecca, the two nurses that I know, and my sister Joanna.
Your sister Joanna.
Yeah, she's a nurse, so I want to give a shout out, and especially Uber drivers.
Yes.
Super, because a lot of taxi drivers I heard pass because they wasn't protected. The ambulance worker, the policeman. So it is really they're doing a great job because matter of fact, I had one came to my house, not my house, my in-law house, and he was complaining that they didn't give him the right protective gear, and then he still had to do the job. So I really want to applaud them.
Thank you, Jessica.
I want to give a shout out to my co-chair. I started an organization called Nurses of Integrity, and Shantae Carter. She is a fighter. She's a survivor of COVID-19. So Shantae, you're in my prayers. We're looking to have our year of the nurse. It is the year of the nurse. We've never had a year for ourselves, and unfortunately, it really shows us strength in numbers, but on an unfortunate level that we are sick, we are tired. So come out and support our event, Year of the Nurse, and I will definitely send Frank and Franklin the flyer. Come and support us. It's now, Rebecca, get your girls. It's for us, unlimited brunch. It's just a great time to really say thank you and to say that we are definitely more than these. I don't call myself a superhero per se, but we put our life on the line every single day. I've been around so many diseases since my 4 years. We're so fearless. So Shantae, I love you and I wish you a speedy recovery. I don't want to get too emotional, but yeah.
Thank you, Shantae. It's on.
Well, I wanted to thank the ladies, Rebecca, with Jessica, and who else we have on the line? Carlene, yes. Thank you guys for the great advice, and I even Frank about something that I heard. I said, "Oh, that was very good." How she talked about how we wipe out the surfaces. We were not told stuff like that.
No.
And I also want to recognize, really, I heard that on the prayer line earlier today. The people that we don't talk about, the cash registers, the people that really go to work and scan our food, the cash registers, and the cashiers and all these people. I want to give a shout out to them. So thank you for this forum. Thank you, guys.
Ben?
Yes, hi. A shout out to all the medical field, obviously, because nurses are definitely to be recognized by everybody else. Taking this virus by the horns, literally, because we all counting on them to get us out of the house. In a sense that somewhere, somehow, we need to get to the bottom of a cure for all, where everybody could go back to work, go back to social life, and being normal again. Unfortunately, the new normal probably for the few couple of months to come may just be with a mask and with social distancing. But one thing that we take for granted, I think we should have kept on doing is proper hygiene, period. And that has nothing to do with a virus. It has to do with a way of life. You wash your hands before you eat. Most people don't do it. But in any case, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I'm also a shout out to the delivery people. It was really surprising to see that food delivery people, we're talking about the Uber Eat and other companies, they still out there delivering your food. Could you imagine? Those people are literally throwing themselves into situation every single time they're making a delivery. Yes, they try to be distant, but they don't have to do it. But that's a job. They doing it. So those are the people as well I want to shout out today. In addition to everybody else, that makes this system still work.
Rebecca?
I can speak for like some of the nurses that I know. We are humbled that everyone is so appreciative because, like Jessica said, we really don't consider ourselves heroes. We just consider ourselves doing a job that we chose to do. So we're very humble when everyone's like thanking us, and we appreciate it. As it was mentioned that you guys are counting on us, but we're also counting on the public for staying at home and helping us flatten the curve and really keep the hospitals operating. Hopefully, reopening, when everything reopens, then if anyone gets sick, then we'll have space for anyone extra that gets sick. So we appreciate everyone for following the rules and staying at home. I would like to shout out to my sister-in-law, who's a nurse, to some of my friends that are out there on the front lines. Some of them work in the ED. My friend Velda, she's in like the epicenter of it all, the ER. So shout out to her.
Thank you. I mean, it's amazing the work that you guys are doing. I've seen volunteer nurse, people leaving family behind to travel to other states to go help out. And it's amazing. So I want to send a special shout out to all the doctors, all the nurses. I have a friend of mine, Ralph Banica. His wife is a nurse. She caught the virus and she can't wait to beat it to go back to work. To me, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I want to also send a special shout out because in my other job, I look for job for people with intellectual and developmental disability. There is a hospital in the Bronx where they have a lot of cases. And we have 4 guys that we just placed there. They have disabilities and they were honored to be considered to go help out during this time. So I want to send a special shout out to this community as well. To move on, we're almost done. I know it's been a while. We're going to let you go. To move on, we are going to talk about some people that think they were so strong can never catch the virus. I'm talking about Black people. They say they have what we call the melanin. I don't know if it is what we call the lime in hot water. They have that, they cannot catch it. I know.
We are also Franklin, we have to talk about the stimulus package too. So
we'll get there, Frank. So, so I don't know who wanted to talk about how this virus is affecting the Black communities. That was Ben. You wanted to talk about it, right?
I definitely can speak of it. Two things we need to take in consideration is the majority of our Black brothers and sisters are unfortunately in this country in a disadvantage financially. So they end up making the choices that are, um, you know, driven by money, which is unfortunately most of the time not the right food consumption. So and of course we could talk about food, so not food diversity, but the lack of certain type. I think Jessica, you spoke of the term earlier.
So, to me, you always have to go back to the history, right? It's a systemic thing. We go back to slavery where we were given the scraps, right? We were the slaves outside. We were given the chitlins. We were given the pig's feet. And so as a culture, we kind of gravitate to the foods that we are used to eating. So once I hear that persons with hypertension, diabetes, I'm not surprised, but how is it their fault, right? You guys are in real estate. You guys know about the redlining where certain areas, I mean, if you guys want to be real, and I think a lot of people have an image and they give out the fluff, let's get down to the basics, right? The food deserts, the redlinings was a system approach for us to get these types of ailments. Let me repeat that because pharmaceuticals is king. I mentioned that earlier. They need people to be sick to give you the blood pressure pill. Sometimes I'm giving one person 20 pills. 20 pills for one human being. So let me tell you what food deserts mean. It means you have a certain area of a location and you have high density establishments that serve processed foods. So those are the Burger Kings, those are the Fried Kings, the Kennedy Fried Kings. They come into this area because that's where the government allows them to rent. I mean, Frank, you are in real estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a person is looking for an area to live, they cannot get that because of zoning. So you have a zone, and then you have all the Popeye fried chicken, and so you have a decrease on supermarkets where you can eat fresh. This is a systemic thing. Okay, coronavirus will be here tomorrow. It'll be something else that will trigger in a dense area. You have people in the projects. What do they have there? They have rats, roaches, vermin. They don't have a quality of air. Okay, I've done extensive research on quality of air, and it's always in the urban communities. Why? Because that's what the system wanted us to be. They wanted us to live in these areas. They pulled us together. So I am so tired of people saying Black and brown people have hypertension, asthma, and DM. But you guys gave it to us. You guys put us in these situations. Okay? No one that looks like us is, I mean, I know you said Diddy did his thing. I get it. Diddy, to me, definitely using his power in a right way. We can go into the conspiracy of the Illuminati coming to get them and everything like that, but we need more persons to speak the truth. This is going from slavery. We were the ones picking the cotton. Why were we in a cotton field and rice field? Starch. Oh my God, I don't have enough food. Let me go boil a pot of white rice. I mean, you know, it goes back to slavery, guys. Think about it. What is one thing that you can feel a whole family on? Carbohydrates. Okay? The rich people ate, the Italians, they ate all the, why do you think they're big? They ate all the good meat. Right? And they all have gout. That's a whole other conversation. Don't get me started on that. But back to what I'm saying and back to what Van is saying is we have an influx of fried food companies, an influx of tenements. We used to call them tenement yards, high-rise buildings that are the projects. This is a systemic thing, hence why we are now, quote unquote, on the forefront. A lot of us was already dying, but now the news has now magnified it. I know so many people that died before it even got to the news. Okay, so
absolutely.
You have to know your history to know where you're going.
Yeah.
I want to chime in quickly on that. Absolutely, Jessica, you said it well. It is designed that way, but I also want to say that we have the choice to change that. We can make that decision, take that decision. But unfortunately, it's not just slavery that continues in a physical way, but it's also the mental slavery. Because if you think about it, I'm looking at most of the ads or commercial that are coming on TV while we are in staying at home. They mostly about fast food. They're mostly about the wrong idea. Again, we are being fed those mental repeat recordings. So it is for us to be conscious of it and help our brothers and sisters pull out of it, because it is definitely a slavery on the mental level as well.
Yeah, I just
How do you break that? How do you break that? I only have $10, man. How do I feed my family on a stipend? You guys saying thank you to the cashiers, but they haven't got an increase in pay in how long?
Well,
Did we
sure
change
they-
that trajectory? Are we going to do better for these people?
Well, we can, because money is not everything. We need to start thinking of community, because we can feed a community without a lot of money. That is a fact, but we need to
But what are your
organize it in that way.
What are your options to get that fresh produce? Yes, you can go to Dollar Tree. I've done how to go to Dollar Tree, but then you have to wash. I think a lot of people, like you said, they don't go to the next step. Are you washing all that stuff, all the sodium off the canned foods? I mean, Van, I get you, because I've done health fairs, but they're like, girl, you don't know my situation. This is all free and good. I
Right.
can't go to your house, Van, and micromanage you, okay?
Exactly.
I'm being 100% right now.
There is a movement that I do appreciate, and I very proud of. That's called community gardens, and a lot of places in Brooklyn, interestingly enough, between buildings, they have community gardens. Obviously, you cannot sustain that during the winter, but
Right.
it is a sustainable situation, and we just got to replicate it. A rooftop could be community gardens, and a lot of places do that. So those are the ways that even in one building, you can educate people and bring them around and help each other. So those are the things that we have to start thinking about for the future. Because
Okay.
what you see on
How are
TV,
you promoting
trust
this?
me,
How are you promoting this?
and this is, you know, it's interesting that the coronavirus situation bring us to this particular opportunity, is reaching out through video conferences, having our virtual group talk, and all this is how you're gonna reach out to more people, create a new movement, and expands people's mind. Because here we are talking about it, I'm sure certain people are not aware of it. Now they're gonna hear it. So those are the type of stuff that we should take advantage of. I'm very much hopeful for the future, and this is gonna create a new trend. A lot more people gonna meet virtually. I may not meet somebody that is all the way in Canarsie, for that instance, depending on where I live. I may not be there, but they will hear my voice through social media, through this system that we're using today. So I think we are in that particular realm. We just gotta do it well, do it consistently, and increase our audience.
I really, and that's one thing I was always saying, that I really hope if we come out of this pandemic and we haven't made any changes to our lifestyle, then I think we haven't learned anything, because I think this is a great way to motivate, a great motivator for our community. Anyone that knows someone that may have passed away because, you know, of whatever reasons, that could be a motivation for them to change their own life and get healthier, and, you know, and I really hope, like, at the end of this, when this is over and people start their regular schedule, they really think about alternating some of the habits, you know. I know it's difficult. I know money is a big factor when it comes to being healthy, but buying that McDonald meal, it doesn't sustain you for long. And next thing, and before you know it, you're hungry again, and you're gonna go get McDonald again. But eating a high fiber, getting some, some whole grains in your diet, that will sustain you longer. That will keep you full longer.
But I would like to say,
I
Rebecca,
think-
most people don't have no choice, and then that's the one the problem we have.
I think it's more of an education thing.
Absolutely,
I think it's more of a generational thing. I grew up this way. I grew up eating white rice. I grew up eating all those starchy. I came at a point in college where I made a decision to eat differently. So when I would go home during the holidays, I would go back to eating all the starch because at home I'm not cooking. My mom is. So I realized that for me to make those choices, I will have to cook. So I started cooking my own vegetables. I started cooking the own things that I wanted to eat. So I think that it's when you have the knowledge, the next step is to make a decision, And I think our job is to educate our population, to educate them and empower them to be able to make those choices.
And very importantly, I could say empowerment also comes from showing what the change is. Be the example for others, and I think that's where we could start, and we could absolutely.
So much stuff. We're gonna have to do another show about that. The last thing I want Frank to talk about is the stimulus package. About 2 days ago, we received money from the government. I want to know why Frank get more than me. And
Frank, I'm coming to your house.
If I didn't receive it, what should I do, Frank? And they talk about the second one to come. Is that true?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about it. But before I do, I just want to add something to what you guys were saying. We know that we have underfunded hospital. Our neighborhood have the most liquor store. We don't have enough produce store. We have poor housing. But also, I think it's stem for lack of education, because now I see a lot of people, especially in Brooklyn, they're throwing party where they're telling you to stay home, and then you throw a party, you're not staying 6 feet apart. I see people partying with masks on. I see people in the street smoking weed, and just a group of them. So, we want to tell the listener, that, they need to stay home. They need to stay home in order to keep safe. If you don't have something you have to get, that is essential, stay home. But now I'm going to talk about the stimulus package. Franklin, you lied because you got more money than I did in the stimulus package. But let me tell the public, the listener, what you need to qualify for the stimulus package. So first of all, they're going to go based on the 2018 tax return. Or if you haven't filed 2018 and you filed 2019, they will use the most recent one, the 2019. So in order to qualify, for those people that make, for individual, if you make $75,000 or less as a single taxpayer, you will get the $1,200. And if you have a dependent, you will get $500 for that dependent if they're under 17 years old. For someone who is married, filing jointly, who make under $150,000, they will get $2,400 in total. So, as you know, so it'll be $1,200 for one spouse, $1,200 for the other one. So, don't try to keep the whole money for yourself if you've found married, filing jointly. And I'm sorry to say, as you know, Trump doesn't like immigrant. So the immigrant doesn't get no money at all. So if you don't have a valid social, you don't get any money. So if you have a green card and or citizenship, that you will qualify to get that money. Also, if you're collecting Social Security, you will also get that $1,200. You don't need to file no tax for the people who collect Social Security. But for someone who haven't filed, but they are qualified, they fall under the $75,000 mark for single taxpayer, and then they haven't filed. they need to go to the IRS.gov and file just a tax. They don't need to include no income, anything like that, if they haven't made money, any money for those 2 years. And then they will use that information to send them the check. What else? Let me see. So if your parents file with you, like let's say somebody was 17 to 24, your parents file with you, they will not get the money. But if let's say you have a student who work part-time, but their parents haven't filed with them, they will get the $1,200. But for more information, they need to go to irs.gov, and then they have a link just for the coronavirus, and then a stimulus package. Okay, and we was gonna tell us about the small business loan. So I guess
That's
Franklin
gonna
will
be for
post.
another show.
Yes, so we'll talk
For
about that,
another
but
show.
but
Are we
we'll
gonna
post a
receive
link.
another check from the government in May? That's the question.
They haven't passed that package yet, but they're working on that. So hopefully there'll be a second stimulus package once the Senate and the Congress pass that law.
All right, so we keep everybody very long. So one last word, advice for people out there from everybody. And then that will be the wrap up.
We start with Jessica.
Let's start with Jessica.
You better vote for me. Vote for Jessica. No, I mean well. I think I am a pit bull. I speak my mind, and I hope you guys enjoyed me being very transparent tonight. Thank you so much, guys, for the opportunity to speak my truth. As a nurse and an entrepreneur, the best thing I can tell you guys is to wash your hand, take your clothing off as soon as you get to the door, put that in a bag, get in a hot shower, and love on your family if you do have to go out there. And I just hope I see you all on the other side. It's that real.
Yes, Colleen, you next, Colleen.
Yes, so I'm hoping, just like Jessica said, everybody stays well, stay safe. This is an amazing platform to stay connected on, and just in general, just stay connected with with your family, your friends. This is a time definitely to reach out to those who you haven't spoken to in a little while and just say hello. And as business owners, use these networks that you have as a support to reach out and connect, and and if you have tough questions, or if you have concerns, or if you have something in mind, just do the best that you can to really use your network right now. We can't physically be together, and I think this is a time where we kind of pay attention to all the things we took for granted. So definitely use these times to, to chime into all these things that you took for granted. And hopefully, like Jessica said, when we come out of this on the other side, we'll be better for it, and we'll be stronger.
Rebecca? You're on mute, Rebecca. You have to unmute.
I would like to say that everyone's doing a great job. Well, most people are following the rules. They're staying home. They're wearing the mask more outside now. So just keep doing what you're doing, and be consistent with it. And hopefully all our collective efforts will blow this thing over, and we'll be able to go back to restoring our economy.
Van?
Yes, thank you very much for this beautiful panel. We have definitely touched on many areas that are needed to be spoken of. As an advice, I think this is a perfect opportunity for a reset. Everybody has, and it's interesting, the government is paying us to do that process of resetting ourselves. What is not sustainable as far as the business is concerned? What is it that we need to change in our lives to be healthier? I think that's a time for a lot of internal search as well. Take the time to look at your life and see what you could have done better, that you did not have the time for. Now you have plenty of time, and you are being paid for it. Those that get the money, of course.
It's just one check,
And
man. One check.
one thing everybody said this. One more coming, right?
Yes.
But I must say that we all saying the same thing, as far as stay home, be careful, do the right thing, and I think in addition to it, I hope that we don't go back to what we were where we were before, because clearly something is not working, and this is why the whole world is getting a pause, and we have to reevaluate it and change it. If we come out of this and continue on, clearly something did not happen. We need to take that that time to change something. So everybody come out of this with a big change in your life. I think that's my advice for everybody here.
Edson, real quick, Edson.
Well, what I've heard from everybody is that we have been given an opportunity to really spend time with our kids, with our family, see what matters the most, and everything that we've said before. Just take time to read a book and watch a good movie. Laugh, and most importantly, talk to your kids, about what's going on, because a lot of those kids, especially our teenagers, they want to be out there. They don't care about sickness. They don't care about viruses. They want to be out there with their friends, and they are going through depression. You got to talk to them, speak to them, hear them, listen to them, and do whatever you can to just change their environment. Even if you go outside for a walk around the house, do something different.
Franklin, you want to?
Oh, all right. What I would say is, first of all, wash your hand properly, as Jessica suggested, and also drink your lime with hot water every morning.
Very
because
good.
you don't know how long it's gonna last, so you better prepare yourself in case it happened. And also appreciate life. It's a gift that you have. Sometimes you don't understand the value of it, and just go about it. And it's an opportunity for you to evaluate yourself, to see where you are, where you want to be, and take the necessary steps. We have time in our hands right now. We have to plan for better tomorrows.
Yes. As for me, I would say help someone, help your neighbor, even if you had to, somebody who's old or somebody who cannot come out, buy them a case of water, do something to help your fella mate, and also I think it's a good time to reflect on life, restore your faith with God for those who believe in God, or whatever faith that you have, take time to restore that. Also to educate yourself, like I say, we have to come out better than that, not just mentally, physically, emotionally, and then also that we make sure that we come out, even better, even another degree, or just even if it's just one course, just to make yourself better. So call your friends, family, check on them to see if they're okay. And then I really appreciate everyone that make the time to talk about this subject, and then to talk to let the community know that we care, because being here is showing that we care. And then because we need to read, because some people may not be able to watch the news, or may not even care about what those other people, but if they see our face, they be that they could relate to us, and they might be able to listen to us. We might save a life today by making this show. And then I appreciate everyone that came to. Franklin, you could close.
The last thing I would say, it's like, I want to say thank you to everybody that comes. It's a lot of people that are doing amazing things in the community. The next thing we will have is April 25th. We have someone on the panel that dedicated her birthday to help people, homeless people. So
nice.
Colleen, he's having a birthday bash instead of drinking mimosa, having party with us. So she's gonna use that to help her community. Colin, you want to talk about it
We
before we
stick with
wrap up?
Drake.
That's right, Frank.
Yeah, sure. So April 25th is my birthday, and every year, okay, so as a founder of the 501(c) nonprofit organization called Pajamas and a Purpose, every pajama party event we organize has a purpose in contributing, to our communities in some very amazing ways. And part of that is we organize birthday parties for over 68 homeless shelters on Long Island. Every month we throw birthday parties for the homeless children that are in these shelters. And so as part of that, for my birthday every year, I dedicate my birthday to raise the funds that we need in order to fund that program. And so this year, unfortunately, it's canceled because of, COVID-19, but we are not going down without a fight. So we are going to, keep supporting this cause, because afterwards we do have a life, and these kids are counting on us, and they're going through their own traumatic situations, and in addition to COVID-19. So, giving them something to look forward to as well. So instead of the birthday celebration, the in-person birthday celebration, we're still hosting it. I'm going to do a 1-hour live from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. On Facebook Live and IG Live. So our handle is at Pajamas and a Purpose. So if you spell that out, it'll come up. You just follow it, and once you follow it, you'll be able to follow us live. You'll be able to see us live, and it's just me coming on air, just saying hello to everybody and having a good time with everyone for about an hour. People are still able to donate. If you go to pajamasandapurpose.org, you'll be able to see under our events page, you'll be able to see the birthday bash celebration, and that should take you to a link to be able to donate to that cause. We created a wish list, Amazon wish list, so people can either donate toys or funds to the cause. And we thank you, anyone who is going to participate in that. And if you need more information, you can definitely reach out to me as well. Our email address is on the website as well.
Okay, Colin, can you just type in the link on the?
I will put it on the
Okay,
thing.
no problem. Okay, thank you.
My purpose. So thank you, everybody. The book to read is Network Like You Mean It, the Nurses Journey, and the purpose. So purpose both ways. So that's what you have to do.
10% go to Black Wallet. 10%.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you. I really appreciate your contribution, and we will talk to you next.
Peace.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
And Frank talked to Donald Trump to send that money, that second round, okay?
Yeah. I'll work at it.
We need that second round, Frank. Talk to Donald Trump. Give him a call.
Yes. Take care, guys.
When will this video be available, guys, for us to share?
Franklin, go ahead, Franklin.
I have a producer that's gonna make everything look better, nicer, and then
Make us look younger.
Yeah, so this video is mad long. I don't know.
We're gonna cut some
Yeah,
of
six
it.
parts
We're gonna
parts
cut
too.
some of it. We're gonna make it very nice. I think by Monday it should be available for all of us.
Please. All right. Excellent. All right. Bye.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
good
guys.
night. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Great job, ladies. Great job.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Can you call me?
Hi.
Rebecca, I was telling Rebecca to call. Give me a call.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye, guys.